Ruby, are you gonna play Pantheon 2.0 when it drops? Don't lie to me. I want that shit to get like inserted into my blood veins. You don't feel productive, Jerry? It's okay, Jerry. I know how you can fix that right now. 5 push-ups. You don't have a team for it? Well, I know that like the Discord and I, we're gonna do some runs. Of the hardest difficulty, I don't know, because Got it! Ladies and gentlemen, we are in that time of year where it's starting to heat up. Winter is over. And even though winter is over, we have a nice weapon today that can override that and make it winter anyways. Now, granted, we are talking about a Pearlescent, a new Pearlescent from the DLC. We are going over the crow-sourced Order AR. I know people are gonna get turned off by it being an order weapon, but I'm here to let you guys know, don't be afraid. Even though it is an order weapon, it doesn't really feel like an order weapon, if I'm being brutally honest. And honestly, its Pearlescent perk is pretty cool, all of which will be discussed further in the live action portion of the showcase. This is Captain Willis's Pearlescent, and hopefully this video helps you come to the decision on whether or not you want to farm it. It took me about 2.5 hours to get this bad boy to drop, but we are here today. Yes, we did farm for this bad boy on stream, twitch.tv/KRee if you ever want to check it out. Come hang out with your boy while we gaming, doing some stuff live. And as always, big shout out to our channel members that go that extra mile to support the channel each and every single month. Huge shout out to Pikachu, KJ, Perplexity, and the homie general. Much love you guys. That being said, fellas, we're gonna hop on over to the live action portion of the showcase. All right, guys, we are back with another Borderlands full showcase. But ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special heater for you because we have ourselves one of the other new Pearlescents introduced with DLC 1. All right, we had a stream earlier today over on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/KRee. If you ever want to go follow the channel and hang out with your boy when we doing some grinding, gaming, shenanigans, whatever it may be, when we doing it live. This didn't take too long to drop actually, which is pretty nice, but it being a Pearlescent, it still took about 2.5 hours, give or take. Funny story, I was actually farming for this weapon with my buddy, and he got it to drop about maybe 30 minutes or so before mine dropped. And speaking of drops, right, if you want to get this weapon to drop for you, I will say you probably will, because it's actually a pretty good weapon. I've played around with it just a little bit. It's pretty dang good, but it's actually going to be the final boss of the story DLC. You'll head over here to the Maelstrom, run all the way over here, and then you can go into this portal, fight Captain Willis. I will say, it seems like, at least for Pearl and Captain Willis himself, two bosses that have Pearlescents, the trek in between runs is a lot longer than normal bosses. I just noticed that, like, with this one, you go in there, you have to, once his health bar is fully depleted, have to wait a few seconds, pull his head to officially eliminate the boss, check the loot, and then you can hop through the little portal, but then you got to run through the portal again, the main one on this platform up here and whatnot, go through, and it just overall, it takes longer for each to get each run in. So just a little something I've noticed when it comes to farming pearls in this DLC is that some of the bosses, you know, there's a little bit of extra added layers of time in between in terms of actually getting runs in, no matter how fast you can eliminate the boss. But we did get this bad boy to drop for us. Now, something I do want to quickly show you guys is this. So right here we have over on Mobilytics just an idea of how Pearlescents work. I'm gonna take this little time out of the video to briefly bring it up to you guys in case you want to have a bit more of an understanding, exact numbers, percentages, everything like that. So obviously there are a couple ways to earn pearls. The first one is to get it from its main drop source, aka the unique boss. In this case, it's Captain Willis. The other method is to get pearls from your unique World-Night event. The other method is to get pearls dropped from their unique world event. This would be the Ordonite Processors, okay? So for all non-event related pearls, aka all of the newer ones, non-Ordonite Processor ones from Bounty Pack 2, we have the percentages. So obviously the hand cannon is a guaranteed drop from that mission every time you replay it. The Stone Demon himself can drop a hand cannon, but why would you farm the boss? You could just replay the mission. Then we get to this one right here. So the Soul Survivor, which is the only new Pearlescent that I don't have, apparently can drop a shiny? Low-key, pretty interesting. But you'll see that per UVHM level that you get, you increase your drop chance for them. They all eventually max out at 0.9%. So if you're at max UVHM level, you have just under a 1% chance of getting the Pearlescent to drop. As you can see, for Captain Willis, for the Crow Sourced, it is 0.9% as well. Although, at base, it's only 0.6. If you are farming for the Soul Survivor Shiny specifically, you will be getting absolutely scammed on UVHM1, right? Because it's only 0.3% chance versus at max. It's still a 0.9%, which is the same as the normal Soul Survivor. Low-key, I'm going to do a stream where we are farming for the Shiny Pearlescent. I think that will be pretty darn cool. And then for the Ordonite Processor Pearls, their base chance is also 0.6%, and they max out at 0.9%. But now that we have discussed a little bit more about pearls and their drop rates, we can talk about the Crow Sourced, because first of all, I got one to drop with Cryo Override. I do love me some Cryo Override now. This is one that I had on our Krace Earl, which is really nice. I just Cryo in general is really good, and I really enjoy the element. It's strong against armor enemies, and overall just a strong element. Now, its Pearlescent perk, Left of the Murder, fires random objects. How I know it's an order weapon, so you naturally get turned off. I did too, but look how fast it charges up. Bloop. Not only that, but you'll notice it fires a lot more projectiles whenever you have a fully charged shot ready to go. Versus if I was to spam that same 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's also a lot slower. So let's go ahead and reload this, charge it up. I only use 6 shots. And it shoots way more than 6 projectiles, because what's cool about this thing is that it's going to fire random projectiles depending on how full of the charge it is, like this. And with it having a real fast charge time, it's kind of like a fusion rifle. This puts us in a very nice position. Also, as far as I'm aware, it fires rocks, eggs, and then I want to say the red one is like ham. Because what's cool is that you have some of these that are like stickies. You have some that do ricochets, which would be the rocks, and then you have some that do like explosive splash damage. I think those would be the eggs. So I'm gonna fire at this. Yeah, like you can see that there's a whole bunch of stuff and interactions going on. And even though this weapon can't even legally roll with a Jacob's License accessory, the rock portion from this Pearlescent's perk actually gives you the ability to ricochet anyways. Now, granted, depending on the shot, it's going to be kind of random, but it does have the ability to do that. It's random. See, boom, we got some rock ricochets like that. Overall, for an order weapon, definitely feels strong just using it like this, and I can imagine will be really good whenever we get into the showcase. We are on cash here. Gotta stay on brand, doing all the showcasing on cash for the new DLC. Y'all know how we get down. Don't play with me, boy. So for the actual build, we're just on the raw Omega damage cash build, right? We've used this setup for a few videos. This is the same build that we used to showcase the Krace Earl Pearl that we had almost a week ago at this point. We used it to showcase the Cyclone. We used it to showcase the Scoot and Shoot and the level 60 Hellwalker showcase. Speaking of level 60 showcases, comment down below which weapon you want to see a level 60 showcase of next. I'm looking at either the Lucian's Flank or the Hot Slugger right now. But if you guys want a little bit more of the skill tree, it's a red predominant skill tree with a little bit of utility from the green tree, mainly from things like Can't Stop Winning and Accursed Bones. Also, since we are gonna have to get a little bit of love from alchemy, always got to make sure you have that one from the blue tree. Make sure you're ready to go, ready to kick some butt. But yep, with War Wagon, we won't have to worry about reloading, especially on this weapon, because it's technically always kinetic. But even through something like Nothing Beats Lead, we are still going to always proc War Wagon, especially with a weapon that shoots this many pellets. Yeah, you see that thing. It's not gonna fluctuate like crazy, bro. It's gonna be a full mag the whole way through, fellas. Now, with that being said, we still have on our Deadeye firmware, and then I have a bunch of just junk. Hey, look. On stream, we did some bod farming, which is where I got not only the shiny bod, but I got an updated level 60 ceramic bod. So if you want to see the level 60 bod showcase, yo, like the video, comment bod in the comments. I can get this bad boy out for you tonight. But Windrider on this type of setup is going to fry because we have Dealer's Bluff to have full uptime on our totems, which is really, really good. Every time we gain a stack of fortune, we restore action skill cooldown. And what's funny is that our specializations, yeah, they're ordnance focused. I ain't gonna worry about respecing them because we're gonna fry regardless. So with that being said, fellas, let's go ahead, do some moving and shaking, get into the live action portion of the showcase. We're gonna hop over to a vault, and I think we're gonna head over to Origo first because we haven't visited Origo in a couple of the showcases of the past couple of days. So we're gonna go visit him now. Now, this weapon does do cryo override. Although on this boss, since this boss has a shock health bar, or a shielded health bar, excuse me, my inadequacy with the Borderlands terminology, and cryo is weak against shielded enemies, so I would imagine it's not going to actually override, but this is what we're working with, okay? With this weapon, you're definitely going to want to fully charge it. You just get so much more value out of your shots. And the funny thing is that we're not gonna have to worry about mobbing with this weapon whatsoever. And unlike the other Pearlescent, the Crazed Earl, which I like the Crazed Earl as well, don't get me wrong. And I think with the Mantra or a Slippy, like, it could be really good. But that thing being a shotgun, it will run through your ammo. This one being an assault rifle, it just naturally has a lot more ammo in its reserves. So we're not gonna have to worry about running too low on ammo. Maybe you'll burn through some, but we will be efficient because we will be hitting up our crates. Like this crate. Bink. Oh, it's got a little bayonet on it too, but regardless, with how strong this weapon is, we should be good. Now, I think we've showcased, what, just a Goalkeeper as the only other order weapon, because, yeah, I know I didn't go over it in the, like, build breakdown portion of this video. I don't have any actual order enhancements. I think I use some of them for firmware fodder, but I checked my vault, my other characters. I don't have any order enhancements. So essentially, for part of our setup, which it's a bit unfortunate for the weapon, it's kind of just pointless. We do get some passives, some decent passives, but we don't have any like of the order enhancements. It's all good though. In case anybody was wondering what enhancement I was using, it's irrelevant. The only thing that it's doing for this, actually, I should put on the Mixologist for the extra gun crit damage, because this is just gun damage. So let me put this on. Yeah. So we have reload speed, which is useless on this build, but damage and crit damage for our weapon. I will take that. I will take that, Mink. And here we go. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna ricochet with our rocks. We're gonna explode with our eggs, and then stickies with our ham. Green eggs and ham, baby. Green eggs and ham. Shout out to Dr. Seuss. Now, anyways, fellas, this is the second Pearlescent showcase we've done on the channel. With the possibility of getting a shiny Pearl in the Soul Survivor, that is one I will start to get farming to next on stream and whatnot. See if we can actually get a shiny Pearlescent to drop for a showcase. Dude, how cool of a video would that be? Shiny Pearlescent showcase. In this style of format too, I think would be pretty cool. Because, oh, I almost just bit the bullet, and I don't appreciate biting the bullet. It is honestly going to be pretty cool. Now, this is a relatively tankier enemy, but it's all Gucci. And we're vibing. We're sending him down. And something I want to talk about right now, chat. So, today is April 4th, and in just a few days, I don't know how many of you guys have watched or read the comics for The Boys, but season 5 for that show is coming out, which is the final season too, by the way. And me and my lady friend, that is a show that we watched all of together. Like, we were bored one night, she just put it on, and we were pretty hooked just from the first episode. So we watched all through season 4, all of Gen V. And when we finished the season 4 of The Boys, I like they obviously we knew of Gen V at that point, but we didn't know that it was very, very important to the actual like plot line of the story for season 5 of The Boys. Luckily, my moderator, my homie Ghost, shout out to Ghost if you're watching the video right now, my man. He told me, he's like, yeah, bro, y'all are gonna need to watch that, like all of Gen V, because it's very pivotal to season 5 plot of The Boys. So I was like, all right, okay. So about 2 months ago, we finished all of Gen V. We were all, like 6 or 7 episodes into season 1 when we last left off, which was months ago. But we did go ahead and finish that bad boy, so it's locked, it's loaded. And needless to say, that's a show I'm very excited to see. Okay, so I have not read the comics for the Boys or Invincible. I am only like halfway through season 2 of Invincible, and I'm waiting for season 5 of The Boys. All right, I'm very, very excited to see how season 5 of The Boys plays out. I'm very excited, and I don't like to get like too heavily like wrapped up and involved in so many different shows, but whenever I'm doing editing or any YouTube work like this, sometimes in the background, I just like to put up some form of entertainment. And generally, what that form of entertainment normally is, it's genuinely like older movies, maybe even some newer movies I can find on YouTube, Paramount. I have Paramount Plus only to watch all the seasons of Survivor and new episodes of Survivor 50. Fun fact about me, I am a big Survivor geek. Like I really do like my Survivor. And I don't know if anybody who's watching this video are big Survivor fans, but right now they are in the midst of their 50th season. It's like a big celebration season. Needless to say, they're pulling out all the stops for it. Now, I'm not not here to ramble about that, but with these types of showcases, I do like to have some good quality yap. And through this good quality yap, you guys get to know a little bit more about me. This is like in these types of situations of the video and points of the video. This is where like I'll talk about like my football love, because I am a big football savant. I'm a big football nerd, big NFL nerd. I played football for 10 years, and I'm a diehard Packers fan and Chargers fan. Yeah, the latter of which has caused so much pain to young me and even me in my adult years. If for those of you guys that are like fans of what I would call cursed sports teams, like I know, shout out to the members, right? My boy KJ, I know he is a Jets fan. I feel so bad for my man, bro, because he's such a cool dude and he has to deal with being a fan of the Jets. Being a fan of the Jets is like, it's like being a fan of the slowest race car on the track. And no matter what the crew does to make that race car fast, it is always permanently slow. It doesn't matter what they do. To put it in non-football terms, or I guess to put it in Borderlands terms, it would be like the Asher's Rise. That's what the Jets are in Borderlands 4 terms. They're the Asher's Rise, that legendary. Whereas the Chargers are like, oh man, what's another terrible legendary? The Sunspot. I ain't gonna lie, I just named a random one. Okay, we're gonna head over to Radix's vault. But back to what I was initially saying on our side conversation of our side tangent. Yeah, I'm really excited for season 5 of The Boys. And for those of you that are watching the video right now and hearing my voice, let me know. Why am I not able to navigate? Am I just that silly? I meant to hit the fast travel. All right, what fans of shows are you of? What type of your favorite shows? Here, I'll start to name some of my favorite shows, right? Obviously, I just mentioned the whole Boys universe. My watch currently slowly making my way through Invincible. Obviously, I know we said shows, but I quickly just say some of my favorite anime. Who would have thought, dude? One of my favorite anime of all time / stories is Dragon Ball. Would you guys have ever guessed that? Yes. I play a lot of Dokkan. We used to have a Dokkan channel. Yes, I am a Dragon Ball nerd. I bet you didn't guess that. I bet you didn't know that. I'm also a ridiculous heavy One Piece nerd. I have said this statement on stream and to like some of my friends and people I've tried to get to watch One Piece. I've said it and I stand by it. Like, One Piece is quite literally, in my opinion, the best piece of fiction on the planet. It's like a modern day Odyssey, in my opinion, with just the story that it's telling, with the length of it. It's beyond worth it. I've watched all of One Piece and read through it 3 times. I zero regrets, dude, because it's so awesome, and I genuinely love this series. I love it so much. Other anime, like I like JJK. I've finished My Hero. I was watching My Hero as it was airing since like 2020, so I just want to say, you know, the recent ending of it was pretty. It was a little, you know, like I was pulling at some of the heartstrings, like, oh crap, man. I thought the last season of My Hero was pretty good. I need to watch Demon Slayer though. I've had a lot of people tell me I need to get on that. AOT is another really good anime of mine that I really enjoyed. Like, I watched like season 1 as it was airing way back on, like, what was it, Toonami, like in the mid 2010s. It was sometime when I like first entered like my first years of high school, when AOT was like first airing, and then I rewatched all of that when I first started watching the series again, like when it was completed at the start of last year. I remember I binged all of AOT January of 2025. That was like my AOT peak, like, hype month was January of 2025. Now I'll try and move it away from some anime stuff, because I know some people aren't anime fans. I'm trying to talk about stuff that like all of us can like have some sort of like relation to, because that's what I like to do with these showcases. Obviously I could talk about the weapon and the game, but like I can't. It's fun to talk about other stuff here and there and just mix it up, have some fun, enjoy life. I did a somewhat recent rewatch of Breaking Bad, because I watched all of Breaking Bad during the summer of 2020. Where's this? There they are. I was like, where are these guys at? And then I also, you're annoying. Elemental Eater. And then I rewatched it again. Well, I didn't rewatch all of it, but like, as I was watching through Breaking Bad the first time, I told my parents that it's like really good and that they should watch it, and then they started watching it. So they started watching Breaking Bad the first time when I was in like season 2 of my first time watching it. So I was like kind of watching it 2 times, like each episode twice, once by myself for the first time, and then once with them for their first time. And then in 2024, me and my roommates, we did a rewatch of Breaking Bad together. The entire thing. That whole universe is so like very well written. Like, the things that One Piece does well, I feel like Breaking Bad does well as well. And you say that and vice versa. Like, those verses, just the way they tell their stories, I feel like is very carefully woven. You have subtleties and stuff pointing towards stuff to come in the future. Very subtly, great foreshadowing. Stuff that I just really like in a series and a show. Good climactic points. Especially, dude, I'll say, like, season 4 is like one of my favorite seasons of that show. And I started doing a recent bit of watch of Better Call Saul, just because it's the prequel to that Breaking Bad and everything with Saul Goodman and whatnot. Something I need to low-key pick up. One of my other favorite shows, and just honest, like, anytime I was trying to like put something on in the background or just enjoy watching, The Office. I love The Office, dude. Like, one of the like when The Office was on Netflix in like 2018, 2019, me and my homies had the apartment. I remember making a lot of, I'm such a goob, I didn't freaking spawn the boss, but I remember making so many Borderlands 3 videos while I had The Office playing for background noises. Like, guys, like in 2019, 2019 and early 2020, when Borderlands 3 was like fresh and going through its life cycle, I was watching The Office for the first time, and I really enjoyed it, dude. So like, anytime I was farming any of the bosses in there, Graveward, and doing some Wotan runs, I was watching The Office on the side on my other monitor, bro. I just couldn't help it. It's so good. My roommates at the time introduced it to me. Shout out my boy Hyphen, my goat. one of my closest friends IRLs as well. One of the OG supporters too. You know, shout out the boy, shout out the homie. Yeah, him and my buddy Reno, they put me on The Office back then, and really enjoyed my watch. And then in 2024, during the Into the Light era of Destiny, I guess in March up until that point, I did a full rewatch of The Office from season 1 all the way through season 9. And then I did a rewatch of all the super fan episodes that are exclusive on Peacock, because I was like, dude, I want more Office. I was in a big like Office like wave right then. So yeah, needless to say, I really enjoy The Office. Definitely a show I've gone back to here and then just like watch a few of my favorite episodes here and there. It's a good show, man. Like you can't beat the classics, as they say, right? Adrenaline pump. We're gonna pass that up and we're gonna keep on moving. Okay. Actually, with this weapon, we are gonna go to an Ordonite Processor. I feel like this weapon has the ability to clear it, so that is what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go over there. Also, I did a recent rewatch of Everybody Hates Chris, Victorious, iCarly, and Drake and Josh. Granted, the three Nickelodeon, like those three Nickelodeon shows, Drake and Josh, iCarly, and Victorious. I watched all of those last year as a rewatch. In the first half of 2025, I rewatched all of those just over the course of editing, recording bigger videos, and everything of that magnitude. And then, as of not even a week ago, I finished up my rewatch of Everybody Hates Chris. I forgot how funny that show was, bro. I'll be honest, that show is a lot funnier than I remember. And it's just funny. Everybody hates Chris, bro. That's how I feel sometimes when I'm getting clowned on by chat or getting griefed by the game. Everybody hates me. But yeah, that was a show I forgot. Just like, yeah, that one's pretty funny. And low-key, some of the comedy bits that they got away with on that show, because it was a kid show that aired on Nick at Night, were low-key, like, I was surprised that they were able to get away with some of that stuff back then. Yo, speaking of like old school like Nick at Night shows, and you guys used to like watch George Lopez before you went to bed, or you'd wake up in the middle of the night and you just hear the George Lopez theme music. Like, you know what I mean, bro? You can't tell me you don't remember that. I know there's someone out here watching the video right now that has had that same exact experience as me, bro. There's no way. I remember that happening to me so often, because like I would watch it before I would go to bed. I ain't gonna lie, bro, you know, as a youngin', like before I was in like even in middle school, mom be like, all right son, you gotta get in bed, you know, in bed by 9, fall asleep by 10 o'clock. Well, you know, I was in like elementary school, and I was like, bro, I want to stay up a little bit. So since I didn't really like, I couldn't stay on the game, because I was the type of kid that would like rage a lot at the game. I played a lot of Call of Duty, and Call of Duty would just make me a little bit mad. So to risk not waking up my parents when I was a youngin', when I was still up, what I would do to pass the time was watch Nick at Night. And a lot of the shows on there popped was Everybody Hates Chris, like at the right when I was like in that 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. hour slot. And then George Lopez at the demon hours, I would always refer to it, because like they show Nick at Night. I remember predominantly would show Friends and George Lopez back in the day, in those time slots. Now, I don't know what they show these days. I honestly couldn't tell you. It's been a long time. This guy, what? Can someone tell me why this guy isn't taking any damage? Oh, that was weird. That was really weird. I didn't think he was gonna be like that. Anyways, of course, any kids that grew up watching Nick at Night, we already know what we also would watch: Adult Swim / Toonami or Toonami. Toonami. I'm Dokkan pilled, bro. I can't help it. Whether you would get your anime fix, get your early episodes of Dragon Ball Z, or you're watching some Adult Swim and you're watching your Family Guy or an American Dad. I remember watching those shows and staying up late, especially when I was not like even in middle school, and my mom definitely didn't want me watching Family Guy. I would definitely, dude, I would like sneak watch it, and what I would do is I would have the clicker right next to my right hip, because the way that room was set up back in the day was you would walk in and like my bed is like kind of in the corner in front of you, so I would just place it to the right so you couldn't even see the clicker. That way, like if I heard someone coming through the door, I could just quickly put it down, or I could just quickly change the channel and then like pretend I'm asleep. Thought I was so slick. I feel like sometimes there's a little bit too much random chaos that's downing me in these processors. I don't know, not the biggest fan of it. Also, there's no way that we just missed the... I don't know, dude. I'm not a big fan of having to play fetch with these to get pearls. It's not really my preferred way of farming in this game. Just gonna pretend like that we hit that because like I'm not trying to search through that crap when I'm in a slot, when I'm on a time crunch slaying out, bro. Like if they could just go to the thing themselves after I make them drop by defeating the enemy that's holding them, that'd be great. But oh well. Anyways, let's get to talk back about our shows. Yeah. When I was 10, I would stay up past my bedtime. I'd watch Nick at Night, Adult Swim, get my fix of whatever show I wanted to. And when I was a kid come back home from school, I would watch PBS, bro. I'd get home, make sure I could watch my 2 episodes of Arthur, and then fetch with Rough Ruffman. On God, bro, that stuff was peak back in the day for your boy. Damn, what's some other go-to-kid shows, bro? Okay, yo, I know some of y'all were watching some Beyblade or played Beyblade as a kid, bro. The Metal series for Beyblade was so goated. So goated. I will always stand by that. I enjoyed that so much. Also, I don't think this weapon's gonna do too well against Bloomreaper. Like it's total. It's like its boss damage isn't that crazy. It's really good at mobbing though, but like bossing, not necessarily its strongest. I don't even know how that guy got eliminated. Probably by one of the rocks. Dude, Codename Kids Next Door. I remember watching that before going to school in the morning as a kid. Oh man, I love that show. Dude, what was y'all remember that? Okay, I'm about to just go on. Shout out to you if you remember what I'm about to talk about. Anybody who watched Codename Kids Next Door, do you guys remember the special like movie episode that they did with when they had Grandfather, the villain, come back? Grandfather being the father of Father, and number 0 of the K&D. It's like a super villain essentially. I remember watching that for the first time, and I was probably like 7 or 8 when the first time I saw that, and I remember like I had nightmares that night, bro. Like I legit had nightmares. Kid Kree was kind of scared of a potential old zombie infestation breaking out, and I did not want that to happen to me. I'm not gonna lie, but dude, just some of those episodes in general were, especially as a kid, were so like awesome to watch, dude. And like some of the concepts, bro. Like I remember me and the boys getting our mustard cans from the fridge, mustard bottles from the fridge, and making the little mustard weapons that they had, or the little plank slap rifles that they had, dude. I thought that was so cool. And pretend we had a freaking moon base that we were radio into. Honestly, pretty creative universe for a kid's show. I remember the chocolate episode too, bro. I can't remember the name of that specific like villain, but I remember he like was defeated one time. He fell into like I think it was like some sort of chocolate volcano. And then in this episode in which he comes back, it's mainly like it's number 5's. It's her episode, because like this is like a villain that she like has personally known before and like defeated, and so like she like comes back home to her parents' house, and this like they're all covered in chocolate because this guy had like morphed infused with chocolate to where anything he touched becomes chocolate, even to the point where he couldn't even like enjoy a cheeseburger, right? So he really just didn't. He just wanted a cheeseburger, but he was so like, you know, corrupted by his own evil doings and evilness, I guess, that he had to get put down, and he invaded the treehouse. He turned everybody, like, you know, covered them all in chocolate. Essentially, like, imagine being encased in ice, replace the ice with chocolate. That's basically what was going on, like what this guy was able to do. And I remember the episode ending with her, number 5 taking her, like, a spaceship and essentially baiting him to him following her too close to the sun, and the sun just outright melted him. I just remember thinking, like, good lord, bro, this is a kid's show. Like, damn. But yeah, honestly, kind of insane. Oh, no. You're not gonna absorb all my stuff, bro. Oh yeah, and last I checked, I'm goated. Pop! Sorry, Chad, I have to lock in against my Bloomreaper buddy here. Ugly. Oh, cat and ugly. Yeah, the I-beam attack's really annoying. You know what's even more annoying? Dealing with me. That's right, Bloomreaper. You're my new Wotan Schmotan Smackdown buddy, but you're just not nearly the same man that Wotan was. You'll never be able to replace Wotan, my goat. I hope that our takedown boss is on similar levels of the Malawan takedown, bro, because we will do so much content with that. Just so freaking much. Get out of here, you silly plant. But yeah, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed our little yap session of, you know, just, we were talking about some totally different stuff today. We were talking about old school shows. Mainly, yeah, honestly, we're talking about just mainly like old school shows. That's mainly because The Boys' new season's coming out. Y'all gotta let me know some of your favorite shows that you watched as a kid growing up, or some of your favorite shows now in your older years of your whatever point of your life you're at. I don't freaking know, but you guys will have to let me know, man. I feel like it's pretty cool. Also, you know, if you're any fan of any, you know, just tell me who about yourself. Like, what, like, sports? What's your favorite sport? You know what I'm saying, man? We're just a bunch of Giga Chad gamers. That might be pretty good. I have a lot of these hooligan mods. I might need to calm myself down, because, like, I've been picking up a lot of them. But anyways, fellas, that's gonna conclude this Pearlescent showcase of the Crow Source, aka welcome to Kree's daily yap session while I play Borderlands 4. Thank you so much for watching the video. Once again, a huge shout out to the channel members. Much love to them. They go to the extra mile to support the channel each and every single month. You already know. One quick last look at the setup. It's just a standard, it's the gun build that we've been using for a lot of weapons cache showcases that we've been doing recently since the DLCs come out. And honestly, this weapon is pretty cool. But thank you so much for watching the video, guys. Y'all have a great day. Be safe. Do consider subscribing. I'll see y'all beautiful faces in that next one. Peace out, everybody.